All right, you guys, thank you for joining me for our Sunday video, and I got a lot to cover for you. And plus, on top of that, this week I will be sending out a ad copy for you guys just to let you know that you're going to be receiving a birthday discount if you want it, because this lovely lady right here, which is my wife, it is her birthday, and so therefore I'm going to be doing a very special birthday discount for you guys so we can all celebrate her birthday together. Because, whenever I have a birthday or she has a birthday, I always want you guys to celebrate a birthday as well. So there will be a birthday discount going out for the trading systems like I normally do. Okay, and in the ad, it'll have exactly what the price is and the codes, so you'll know exactly what to do. Happy birthday, baby. A happy birthday. All right, love you. All right, let's get to the charts and then I'll get to the news. Now, in the news, I will tell you guys straight up that this week is going to be inflation report, inflation report, inflation report. So keep that in mind as we're going through the charts, and I'll go through when the news events are going to come out for each one during the week. But I want to get right into the charts. On Friday, we had a huge dump in the markets, with a lot of the markets that were trending in the in the upward trajectory in the upwards direction. They had a huge drop. You can see this is a clear pin right here, this little candle, and let me make it bigger so you guys can see. So you can see this pin right here did a liquidity grab. In other words, stop hunt. The market makers, they grabbed all the orders up here that was right here for sales. Everybody who was set up for sales right here, they did a huge quick boom, and they grabbed all the money and then they dropped the market. Pretty sad, because a lot of you guys were in the right direction. You say, hey, I think this is going to be it. And yeah, you were right, but look what they did first. They did a liquidity grab, or a stop hunt as you know it. Okay, now, something to keep in mind in the markets: when there's a huge move like that in the markets, you still have an opportunity to go back and say, okay, what can I do to get some money back? And I will tell you, the biggest thing that you can do is always pay attention. I'm on a 1 hour chart for each one of these just to show you guys. Always look at the trend, the trend, and then also pullbacks. Okay, trends and pullbacks. So as you can see right here, and if you have the sexy analyst system, of course you can do this on your own. You'll see it, because the sexy analyst, I built this to have what you need already built into it. So if you're still trying to mark up your charts and all that, that's fine, do your thing. But for those who have the sexy analyst, which is dirt cheap, go ahead and get that system, because this is going to have everything you need to see. So let's take a look at what happened the first time. So when the market shot all the way up, what did it do? At first thing it did, it started stopping past these Fibonacci levels, which I built into the system to have the auto Fibonacci levels. And you can see it touched it here, hung out, and touched it right here. So it came to these levels, and then you got your supply and demand zones, of course. Okay, this is the supply zone right here. So as you can see, when it hit the supply zone right here, it bounced out, came back to the Fibonacci level, and touched another support, which is also built in. These white dots represent support. It came not only, so we had three confirmations. We had the Fibonacci 61.8, we had the supply zone, and we had support, and it bounced out. Next thing it did, it stopped immediately at the 38.2 before breaking through right here, pull back, thrust it through. Where did it go next? To the next Fibonacci level. So as you can see, it's a couple of things that the market is typically responding to. It's three basic things. It's the trend direction, and you can see that in here I built in so I can clearly see, okay, what is the overall direction of the trend? And you can clearly see the trend is in an uptrend. So when these pullbacks happen, these are not a bad thing. These are actually what I call opportunities. Okay. So now we have opportunity right here, and it shot up. Another opportunity right here, and shot up. Broke up right here, pulled back, came to the 38.2 Fibonacci, and pulled and shot up. Then it turned around. Now we're sitting at another pullback, and you see it's sitting directly smack dab on support. Now, because we're going into the weekend and may have a weekend gap, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does break through this weekend gap, that it will stop again at the 38.2 first. Okay. But if it doesn't stop at the 38.2, that means this is sitting directly on the support level. And if that's the case, this is a great buying opportunity. Now, I've dropped down to the 30-minute time frame, and you can clearly see it's sometimes it won't come exactly to and touch the 38.2 like this right here. You see it didn't touch it Sometimes it will, like it did there and there. Sometimes it'll come a little bit above it, like it did there. But either way it goes, it's close to the 38.2. It's sitting in a what? Supply zone, and it's sitting on support. And the trend on the 30-minute time frame, which is giving us even closer look into the markets, is showing that it's sitting on the strong support. So what would I do in this situation? I'm waiting for a very, very strong confirmation to go ahead and buy this thing so it can go on back up, because the trend is your friend in the beginning of the week. Okay, I've said for many, many years, follow the trend until midweek begin, because normally reversals is going to happen typically around Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. They rarely ever happen in the beginning of the week. Rarely ever. So that means when you get these pullbacks, a lot of people are running away from the market. For me, I'm running to it for looking for an opportunity to buy it back up. And that's with or without an arrow from Simplicity. Okay. Now, if you get an arrow from Simplicity, that's even better. So now when I'm on the 1 hour time frame and I'm looking at this, we can clearly see that this is a downtrend. And so again, every time it hit a demand zone and hit resistance in the trend line, it dropped. Here we go. We got it in the demand zone. It drops. Okay, pulls back up. It's still smack in this demand zone and it drops out of there. Comes up, hit this resistance, and it's in that demand zone again and it drops out. So now it's pushing. So what do I expect from this one? Because it's created a double bottom, this could possibly push further to the upside. We don't know for certain. So we have to see. But in the meantime, it is still in a downtrend on the higher time frames, but we do have a buy arrow right here on the shorter time frame. So what do I do when I'm not sure what to do? I just don't do anything with it. I move on. Okay. All right. Same thing with this one. I don't see anything. Same thing with this one. This one has shot up. We do have an arrow. It pushed. But then this is overall downtrend. So I'm just waiting for this push and see if it'll come to the 38.2 or the 50% retracement level. And if it does, and I get a resistance level right here, you see the 6 hands has these resistance dots in it. If I get a resistance and confirmation, then I might sell that thing off. All right, let's keep going. This is clearly still in the downtrend, but it looks like it can do a retracement to the upside right here, because what happened was there was a sharp drop on the 4 hour time frame. So looking at it from the 1 hour time frame, if this thing breaks outside of this and close outside of the channel and close, then I'm looking for a push to the 38.2 Fibonacci, which will put me at the 108.017, 108.0.7 if it breaks through here. If not, then it's going to possibly come back down and retrace to the 61.8, which would give me 106.941. So this is going to be a make or break. Will it stay inside the trend, or will it break to the top? And it is sitting on support, so we'll see. That's the question. Will it use the support as a springboard to break outside the channel and move up, or will it continue down? Okay, so that's what you want to be patient and wait on. I'm really not a fan of the Swiss JPY right now. It's just been consolidating for such a long time. It's not worth your time, in my opinion. All right, so here's a trade right here, and I took this little trade and I'm going to hold it and see if my if I'm right on this. Now there is a weekend gap, of course, so I'm down 5 pips. Which is not that big of a deal. But right here, why did I take a buy trade right here? Because I see that it came down to this level right here. And in this range right here is what I'm looking at. Okay, I'm going to mark it off right there. So you can see this is a strong resistance, became support, a breakthrough, but then look at this candle. It was starting to come back up because it's sitting within this zone, right here within this zone. And if it does, then it'll come back up and possibly retest to this level right here. And if it does, then it will give me some very nice pips, 52 pips, and that will be $900 profit. 2.03982. 2.03982 is where I'm targeting. That's what I'm looking for on this particular trade. And I'll just give you that number on this one. But the bottom line is, if not, then my stop loss is at the 38.2 and I'll just be taking out the trade. Simple as that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Euro USD. Now, this thing also has broken through very, very strong, but I'm seeing it sitting at a strong support level. By the way, if you guys want to be copied on our trades, go to superezforex.com and just click on the copycat, and we can send you out our trades. You'll be copied on all of our trades manually. Automatically, so that you don't even have to be there. You install the software, and once we take a trade, then automatically you are in the trade. When we close it, then you close. It's going to close on your end. So right here on the 1 hour time frame, I'm seeing a very, very, very strong support level. See, there was support. It broke through, became resistance. Okay, came back around to the same level again, which was resistance. Then it broke up, became support, and now it's sitting on this level again. So I'm going to be waiting for a confirmation, and if I do get that confirmation, I will be sending this trade out to the team, to the Super Easy Copycat group. You can see here support again way back here. So again, yes, market went nuts, but it didn't go ridiculously out of hand to where it didn't make any sense. Now again, the market's going to do a weekend gap, so I don't know exactly where it's going to land when the market opens on tomorrow. However, as you can see, according to this, if this was the market was open, I would be waiting for confirmation to hop in this trade for a buy trade, because overall, yes, the overall right here, we see this is on the downtrend. Okay. But I'm going to switch over to the 30-minute, and you can get a little zeroed in picture a little bit closer, and you can see that the overall is in an uptrend. Now, how do you really tell the difference? Okay. The overall is saying that this is a downtrend, which it is. But inside of the macro level, you also see that this was in an uptrend. Okay. And we can do it like that. Now, this broke and dropped outside of it. I'm hoping that this will come right back into the bracket and come back into it and come back and retest somewhere around the 61.8 Fibonacci level, which is also a popular level. Okay, so this is now support. It broke out of the channel because of news, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay out of there, because the market likes to go back into the trend, and the trend is your friend. So again, looking at this from this standpoint, this from the 30-minute, you can see that it's sitting on a strong support level right here. You can see that the overall trend is upwards right here. So again, it's totally up to you how you want to see it. You can see it one way or the other, but the bottom line is I'm seeing that this still has a way of hitting on the support and then sucking back up and going up this way. Okay. Now, again, keep in mind that the longer term trend is in a downtrend. So again, this thing can do one of two things. It can retrace right here, pull back up, and then do a drop, or it can continue to break through. The problem with this is that when most people are going to get caught in many of these situations, now again, the market can do whatever, is that when it's not a natural organic push to the downside, like this, it's a normal organic move to the upside. Okay, you got to push, consolidation, push, consolidation, push, consolidates, push, consolidate, push, consolidate, push, consolidate, then you get your reversal. Then on the reversal, you get a push to the downside, then it consolidates, then it push, then it pulls back up. So even if this isn't a new downtrend, which is fine, guess what happens? It still will typically pull back up first. And if it does, that still means I'm looking for this 23.6 Fibonacci level on the 30-minute. Or, as I said on here, I'm looking on the 1 hour, I'm looking for the 61.8. Either way it goes, I'm looking for a pullback, unless there's a news event that's going to push it further. Why? Because the markets do not like slant patterns. I've been teaching you guys that for the longest. There's a slant pattern. What happens? Right here at the Fibonacci level, the 50% retracement, what did it do? Bounce right back up. Dropped again, bounced up. Drops, bounce, drops, bounce, drops, bounce. It dropped real hard and almost to the point, to the exact area, bounced right back up. Then it dropped again. Then it bounced up again. Okay. So the market doesn't like these little hard slant patterns. And this one looks just like this one over here. You see how it just slants to the downside? I've been teaching this for many, many years. The market do not like slant patterns. Slant patterns always eventually pop up. Then the question is, when will it do it? Will he do it? Will he do it? Yeah, it will. But when is the question. So that's why I'm waiting for confirmation. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next pair. EuroCAD, again, look at exactly where it stopped. And again, how do I know that these were news events that pushed it? Because look at the Euro NZD, hard push, Euro USD, hard push, hard slant, EuroCAD, hard slant, Euro AUD, hard slant, All of these are doing it at the exact same time. Now, this one is different, so therefore I don't see anything on Euro JPY, so I'm not wasting my time on that one. But you can see this one is hovering right at the 38.2 Fibonacci level, which is right here. Again, the market respected it, and it did break through here before and then popped right back up. Okay, so just because it doesn't stop on the dime all the time doesn't mean these levels are not legit. Overall, this is in an uptrend, so therefore news pushed it through there, and I'm expecting a little pause and then a retracement back to the upside. Same exact thing here. This thing literally came into a supply zone, and then it also hit into a 50% retracement, and you can see that price respected the 50% retracement before, and the market literally came down to this 50% retracement, and there you go. And you can see it respected, hesitated at the 23.6, hesitated a little bit at the 38.2, and now it's hesitating at the 50%. So therefore, it is respecting the Fibonacci levels. Now, it depends on the market gap, and it depends on what news event it was, which I don't know because it just happened on Friday, where all of a sudden the market just went nuts out of the blue. So it just depends on what news attacked or interfere with the markets for the euro. Either way it goes, when it does catch back up and say, okay, the news event is over, I'm anticipating buyers are going to start buying right back up. So I'm not going to be a seller on this hard slant pattern because again, look at this. And this was a gigantic slant pattern right here. You can see it, hard slant to the bottom. And what happened very next? The market recovered every single bit of that right there. You can see it. Because if I draw a line right going across here to say, where did this start? The market darn near recovered every single penny of that on the retracement back up. The market does not like hard slant patterns. In fact, look right here, and I'll clean this up for you guys. Give me a minute. This is why I like slant patterns, because it's just a matter of time and it's predictable. Okay, so watch this. But I will say the markets have been very, very tough because of all the chaos that's going on in the world. Here's a slant pattern right here. Hey, come on. There we go. All right, let me move this out the way and do this differently. All right, so put that there, put that there. We have a hard slant pattern, then it stops at a level, okay? And we can just put a level right there, which it respected again and again and again. It stopped at this level, okay? I mean, if we pull it back, we may see price action respected it going across here. So that's why it literally stopped at this level, okay? And once it stopped at this level, guess what happened next? Price action shot right back out of there like a cannon, and then it matched almost to where this had started dropping hard. So it was going normal right here at this accumulation sector right here, and then it dropped immediately really hard, and the market said, absolutely not, I don't like slant patterns, and immediately it shot right back up and recouped it. Same thing here, it dropped it real hard, and immediately it fired up. It dropped it real hard, immediately dropped hard, immediately. So the market doesn't like these hard slants. That's why I want to get in on them, because when they shoot back the other way, it's going to be a hard move, real hard, fast and quick. And the main key is just looking for levels and looking for the overall original trend. Okay, looking for levels and the trend. All right, let's move on to the G pairs. All right, on the G pairs, I don't like that one right there because it's kind of angling to the downside. It will attemptly, in my opinion, eventually try to break to the upside, which is what you can see right here. It's going to push to the upside, but when, I don't really like it. So I'm not fooling with that one. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so this one is sloppy, nothing to see. But I will tell you this. Look at what I was telling you. See how it drops and then it sits on this 23.6, strong support level, supply zone, and it popped right up out of there. See that? See? Slant pattern, and it started popping up. See that slant? That angle to the downside? Hit on that support, and boom, popped up out of there. Okay? All right, so that did the same thing. And this one is where I'm expecting it to do the same thing and pop up out of there like a what's them little, oh man, them oh, I can't remember them little snacks that you put into your toaster. And I can't remember, with the little jelly in the middle. Y'all know frosted toasted things, whatever they were. I ain't had them in so many years. Trying to be healthier. Anyway, nothing on GU, GCAD. All right, I'm looking at the same thing. Strong support. I think it's going to pull back up before pushing back to the downside. Because remember, at the beginning of the week, the market loves to follow what? The trend. Okay, the trend. Nothing there, nothing there. Now, this is interesting right here. I've been watching this one very, very closely. This one here, I am anticipating that at some point there's going to be a huge possible breakout to the upside. I just don't know when. One of the things, reason why I say that is because if I mark over here, and I'm just going to do this real quick, bow, okay, and I'll bring this down just a bit, bing, bing. What do you actually see? Here it came down, stopped at this level, broke through. Here's your head right here. And then right here, this is a very, very long shoulder. You have your angling pattern. And when you see this angle, it's just a matter of time for this thing does a huge breakout. This little slant pattern right here is a huge, huge, huge prepare for a breakout. Now, if I go to the 4-hour time frame, you can pretty much see the head and shoulders a whole lot better now. Okay. So you can see here's the head. And let me see if I can draw this in for you guys. Let me pull up shapes. I think it's on inserts, shapes, and let me do this. All right, let's do that. I used to be good at this, but since I've been, there we go. Since I've been using Trading View, I kind of got, there we go. All right, and let me change this color of it, the ellipse, and I'm going to make that a little brighter for you guys so you guys can see it. Let's do yellow, okay? And there we go. You can see that. And then I insert another one right here and pull that open. And there we go. And do one more. Okay. And this is kind of like a Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of lopsided, but it's still there. Okay. And there we are. All right. So there we go. And if I move this one down right to there, you can now see it a little bit better. Okay. So there you are. So you have your head, look like Mickey Mouse, huh? That's pretty cute. All right. Let me make this bigger. All right. And I'll draw a horizontal line so you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing. And there you go. All right. So you have your head right here. You have your shoulder on one side, shoulder on the other. Okay. So that's what I'm actually, oh, that's so cute on the 1 hour. Oh my goodness. I drew me a Mickey Mouse. How about that, y'all? That is so cute. All right. So let's make it smaller. Let's bring it in. Bring it right there. Okay, good. Bring you over. And bring you over. And bring you over a bit. And bring you a bit. Just to make you cuter. All right, cool. And then for this one here, let's go ahead and bring you in. And bring you in. And there we are. All right. So now you can clearly see the head and shoulder. Here's the head right here. Here's one shoulder. Here's the other shoulder. And I think this is just an extended shoulder right here. And so once this thing does break out, it's going to break out to the upside very, very hard because this thing was in a major drop due to NZD having issues with their interest rates, which is why I tell you guys do not trade interest rates. So if it stays within this level and then breaks to the upside, I'm looking for a buy on NZD USD. All right. This one, I don't see anything. This one, I don't see much. And this one, I don't see much. And gold, finally, let's take a look. Now, gold, it's looking like a strong pullback. And again, the market does not like slant patterns. So for the copycat members who are in gold, we still are holding for a while. We'll see how that plays out. All right, you guys, that's the end of the video. And again, actually, I got to go over news. So let me go over that with you guys to make sure you guys know what news events are coming up this week, because it is going to be pretty much of a doozy. Inflation. I'm telling you guys. But before we do that, let me go over where you can get this information. Super is an echo, Z is a zebra, forex.com. And again, if you want to be copied on our trades in the Forex, oil and silver, gold, or the indices market, then you want to go right here, just hover over this and then to bring this up and click on it. It's going to take you to our website, Super Easy Copycat. And if you want to see how the copier works, which only takes minutes to install, you'll see it right here. Me taking a trade. This is your account. I'll open a trade here. It'll open over here. I close it here. It closed there. That's pretty much it. It's completely hands-free. Now, here's the deal. If you want to trade live with us, then you want to go and click on this one. It'll reroute you to our website, futurix.com. Now, here's the deal. As you've seen in the thumbnail, for the Asian sessions, which I run the Asian session, Miss Jenny runs the New York session. If you want to trade live in a live setting with a coach, then you want to go to the New York session. If you want my personal trading alerts, which this week, even with all the chaos, we took 12 trades. We only lost 2. We won 10 trades. 10 out of 12 trades we won. Then you want to sign up for the Asian session, but keep in mind you'll be invited into my personal private Telegram channel where I'll be sending out my alerts, and I keep you constantly updated on when I'm going to take profits or whatever is going on with the trade. Okay, but if you want to be live during the New York session, click right here. Okay. All right. So let's get out of that. Oh, by the way, one more thing. If you want to use the trading system that you see me using on the screen, I use a combination of the Simplicity, which you see right here. You click here to join and use that. But if you just want the sexy analyst with the Fibonacci levels, the supply and demand zones, the support and resistance levels, and all those kind of things, it's dirt cheap. You want to go right here and click on the sexy analyst. Okay. All right, you guys. Now let's get on to the news, and then we'll be wrapping this video up. All right. So with the news, let me go ahead and take this screenshot and bring this over for you guys, and then we'll be wrapping this up because it's pretty important. All righty, and click here and click here. All right, and there we go. All right, so on this week, guys, on Tuesday, we have the Canadian dollar coming out with inflation news. Then we have the GBP coming out with their inflation on Wednesday. You have the JPY coming out with their inflation numbers, but this is going to be the biggest one of all, and that is the US dollar coming out with their inflation numbers. This is something you got to pay attention to because this can wreak havoc on your trades. So right before you take trades, just screenshot this real quick, and then right before you take a trade, just say, hey, which one is which? Should I take the trade beforehand or should I not? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video was helpful. And again, look for on Monday, I will start posting up the discount sales for my wife's birthday to celebrate my wonderful wife's birthday. She's one of the most wonderful women on the planet. She's so chill, laid back, and such a nice person. We're going to be, I'm taking her some places to go celebrate. But also, like we always do every year, we also give you guys a discount on my trading system so that you can be blessed as well. All right. So I'll send that out on Monday. Peace and hair grease. Enjoy your week, and thank you for your time.